Okay, so a lot of people, when it comes to thinking of like successful founders, and in this video I will be focusing on female founders, but when it comes to successful female founders, a lot of people think, oh my gosh, they must be doing something extraordinary, something out of this world to achieve the success they have achieved. But after watching many podcasts and reading many business books, I'm going to break down why I think a lot of their success is also attributed towards how they think and how they operate, as opposed to the strategies they do and this and that, and oh my gosh, they're so unattainable because this is how this is how they think. And I also think a lot of those traits can be learned, and that's what I'm going to break down in this video. Now you might be wondering, Luella, why are you in a robe? And that is because I've just come back from the spa, and while I was getting oiled up in my massage, in my massage, I was literally thinking of this and going over it in my head. And before the thought goes, I literally came back and was like, let me make a video, because before the thought goes and I get changed and let me make this video. So you're gonna get how we're gonna come, but you're getting it fresh out the pot. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off with talking about Emma Grede. Now, she did not grow up in the Upper East Side of New York or Beverly Hills or the Hollywood Hills or Knightsbridge in London. She grew up in East London. She wasn't surrounded by some of the obvious blueprint for billion-dollar businesses, yet she went on to build at a very extraordinary level.
I was raised by a single mum with very little means, one of 4 girls. My mum went out to work every single day, so I played a really big role in raising my sisters. I watched my mum work incredibly hard, and she really taught me that I could do anything so long as you were willing to work really hard for it.
And what I find inspiring about this is she didn't let where she started dictate where she went in life and what she'd done with her life. She thought beyond her environment, and this is what I think limits a lot of people and kind of caps their mind as to what they achieve, because they see what's around them, what the people are doing around them, and think this is the only thing that's doable for me. But she kind of thought, even though this is what I see around me, I want more for myself, and I'm going to make that happen.
So much of who I am and how I feel about who I am comes from where I'm from. And, I say it all the time, I'm from East London. I like to make that distinction. I'm one of 4 girls. I was raised by a single mum, and it was so much kind of hammered into me that this is where you're from. This is not where you need to stay. The world is your oyster. You can do anything. You're just going to have to work really hard. And I think all around me, I saw a lot of people that were working hard. I saw a lot of people that were hustling and doing what they needed to do just to get through the day. But I had this feeling very much inside of me that if I wanted more for myself, it was all completely within reach. And I think that really came from this, East London mentality and all the people that were around me.
And a lot of people underestimate the importance of thinking beyond your environment. How I kind of think of this is when people think of building the $1 million business or building the massive business, sometimes the first job isn't even building the business. It's really just expanding your imagination and thinking there's something bigger than what's around me, if that makes sense. And I think Emma's such a good example of this, because it shows when people try and obviously it is true if you come from a better background, or your parents have this or your parents have that, or you grew up in a wealthier community, yes, your chances of achieving even more wealth is a given. However, I think she's such a good example, because it shows that even people from not great backgrounds or not super wealthy backgrounds can also achieve amazing levels of success too. Okay, so number 2 is understanding that your obstacles do not define you. And the example I want to give for this one, and I hope I'm saying her name right actually, Bozoma Saint John. I've watched a couple of podcasts with her now. This is a new one because I wasn't aware of who she was. I first saw her on A Diary of a CEO, and I loved that episode. So when I love something after research and find out who the person is. Anyway, so
Bozoma Saint John, Forbes' #1 most influential marketing chief.
Is an international phenomenon.
Has led marketing and branding at some of the biggest companies in the world.
Who have you worked for?
Apple, Netflix, Pepsi, Spike Lee. He was walking by with a script under his arm, and I took a red pen to it. I was a receptionist. I really did think I was getting fired that day, but intuition and creativity and following your gut made me be successful.
So she has Ghanaian roots, an immigrant story, navigating spaces where she often stood out. So instead of seeing that difference as something to hide, she actually turned that into a strength. Why I think this is powerful is because a lot of people, when it comes to what makes them different or what makes them unique, they kind of think that's the thing that's holding them back, and that's the thing that disqualifies them, makes them, oh my God, I can't be part of this because I'm different. However, it can often be part of what makes you exceptional. So she didn't build by shrinking herself, she built by leaning into who she was authentically. And I think there's a huge lesson in that, because it kind of shows that, and this is a very summarized version of her story, but if you do delve into it a little bit more, I'm not going to go into super a lot of detail, but it kind of shows that your obstacles don't automatically disqualify you from being in that position or having that opportunity or doing those things. You might think yourself, oh my God, okay, because I'm different, because I'm this, because I'm that, people are going to think this, people are going to think that, people are not going to give me the opportunity. But if you truly believe you deserve to be in those spaces, be in those rooms, do those things, who cares if you're different? Who cares if this? Who cares if that? No, you have to put aside those obstacles and make sure you're in that room because you deserve to be there. Do you not? Unless you don't, then. Okay, so the most important things to take away from these two women, I think personally, is the fact that when you look at both of them, you can clearly see they thought so much bigger than what was directly in front of them, whether it be their environment, whether it be the obstacles, the differences, whatever. I feel like their beliefs in themselves were so strong before they even had the proof. They were backing themselves, they knew they could do it, they knew where they wanted to go. They just had to have that step to get there. You know what I mean?
Which isn't even just so much that I need to be the best. That was just out the gate. That was not anything that you could argue.
Not up for discussion.
You have to be the best. But it wasn't just that. It was that your life will be the best. Your life will be excellent. And so you approach life that way. You don't approach life like, oh, woe is me, and this situation is terrible, and I've got to rise above it. That was not the understanding. The understanding is that your life, and not your present life, your future life.
And that it was your responsibility to make it happen? Like, how did you contextualize that as a kid?
No,
like, your life has to be excellent.
Your responsibility was to be the best in your life.
Right.
But the understanding was that your life is going to be the best. So you should act that way.
You should behave that way.
Yes. You should walk into a room.
Come to expect it.
Yes. Come to expect that the world is going to conspire in your best interest.
Mm-hmm.
And also what I really, really like, especially with Emma as well, you can see that they treat their identity and their background as like an extra strength instead of a limitation. So a lot of people, okay, rather than Emma being like, oh my God, you know, I came from East London, I was in the ghetto, I was this, I was that. No, she speaks about it proudly. She speaks about how it taught her all these lessons, looking after her sisters. I forgot I'm sure she was it a newspaper or like a journal, something, I forgot the initial come up story, don't shoot me. But she talks about how all these hardships and how all these lessons got her to where she is, rather than being like, okay, woe is me, I can't do these things. She knew she could do it. She just, what's that TikTok joke where it's like, I just needed the plan. Something, if you know, you know, yeah, whatever. And really and truly, I feel like these are traits people can develop. People think it's so far-fetched to think that, oh my God, you know, I could achieve these things and I can do these things and I can build this amazing business or level up it doesn't have to be a business, it can be your professional career or all this or all that, whatever it is. You just have to have the vision. You just have to not just have the vision, but be in the right places. Yes, Emma started off, whether it be, I mean, she was in London as well, there's a lot of great opportunity happening there, but be where the magic is happening. Put yourselves in front of the right people to get those opportunities. Vouch for yourself even when no one else necessarily does, and sell people on that conviction in not only you know what you can do, but you're the right person to do it. And yeah, okay, so my takeaway from all of this is kind of, or when I'm looking at successful people or successful women and I see them achieve all these things, but not to just be inspired by successful people, but also study exactly how they got to where they are. And again, I'm talking like, if you have that ambitious mindset, you know, you want to do X thing, whether it's, I don't know, whatever you want to do, rather than be like, that could not be me. Just look at these successful people, see how they done it, and apply the same steps. Summary, Emma kind of taught me to think beyond your reality, think beyond your environment. Just because you started in this one place and this is what you see around you, there's so much more out there and you can achieve it too. And Boz kind of taught me that you should turn your difference into power and really capitalize on that. And if you deserve to be in that room, you deserve to be in that room. So advocate for yourself. So, beautiful people, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a like. If you love the video, give it a subscribe. If you didn't, give it a subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.